From magic bands and fast pass to fast food and the weather in Orlando, there are a few things that a lot of you maybe thought you would hate in Disney World, but I've got a different spin on it for you. Let's take a look. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog, and today we wanted to explore a few things that many of you have said you were worried that you would hate, but actually didn't end up hating quite so much. So this is hopefully going to help you as you plan your trip to not be worried about these things, or maybe give you a different spin on a few things that you may be concerned about when you're heading to Disney World. First up, Fast Pass and My Disney Experience. Now, I know a lot of you have experience with the old form of Fast Pass when you used to be able to go in to the parks and grab your Fast Passes at Rope Drop, and you could get Fast Passes for as many rides as you wanted, and you could use them all day long, even though that's not technically how it was supposed to work. So I was worried about it too. When the Fast Pass Plus came in, My Disney Experience, the magic bands, I thought, oh my goodness, what is gonna happen? This is gonna be so complicated. And while it is a little bit tougher to wrap our heads around, it also tends to work really, really well. Now, hear me out. You guys know I love being able to use My Disney Experience and change my plans midday. If there's a Fast Pass that I want to change, if there's a dining reservation, I can do that right on my app. I don't have to worry about calling Disney, waiting on hold, or going up to a front desk to change all of that stuff. I can do it right in the palm of my hand, and it's really, really easy. My Magic Band, you guys know I love my Magic Band because I can open the door, I can pay with it. It has my ticket media on it. Even hard ticket events are on your Magic Band, so it makes it really easy. You don't have to worry about bringing printouts with you everywhere, QR codes, or even actual hard tickets, or even going to Will Call. I used to have to go to the Will Call booth every time I went to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, but I don't have to do that anymore because it's right on my Magic Band. So that's super great. So those two are pretty obviously a nice benefit for the new Fast Pass Plus and My Disney Experience system. But what about actual Fast Passes? I know you guys liked the tickets, the paper tickets, but here's my argument for Fast Pass Plus. Basically, yes, you only get to book 3 Fast Passes, but here's the great thing. You don't have to get up super early and go into the parks at Rope Drop in order to ride the most popular rides. It used to be that in order to ride Toy Story Mania, you had to get up early in the morning, get to Rope Drop, and run to that particular ride to get your Fast Pass, and then they'd run out within 30 minutes of park opening. Same thing for other super popular rides. So if you weren't up and running right there at Rope Drop, then you didn't get on that ride. Now you can book those rides much earlier. You can pre-book all of your attractions, and don't forget, you can still get multiple Fast Passes. You just have to use up the first 3 before you get another one. So it's not as though you can only have 3 Fast Passes for the day. You can only pre-book 3 Fast Passes. Once you ride all those rides, you can make another Fast Pass through the My Disney Experience system. So overall, I think this is a pretty good benefit. So I hope you guys agree, but let me know in the comments. Next thing that I thought I might hate, but I didn't, was the characters. Now, of course, I'm not going to hate the characters. I'm not going to hate Mickey and Minnie and their friends. But I did think it would be a huge hassle to figure out where the characters were and how to meet them. I knew that there were going to be lines. I knew that there was going to be kind of a character hunting process to find where they were. And I thought maybe they just pop up out of nowhere. You wouldn't be able to find them. But that's actually not the case. Remember, you can book Fast Passes to see a lot of characters. Especially helpful are the Fast Passes you can book to see multiple characters, like in the Magic Kingdom Storybook Circus and the Epcot Character Spot. You can see a bunch of characters at once with just one Fast Pass, so that's awesome. You also can try to go to character meals where you can see multiple characters in air conditioning, get a meal at the same time, get all those autographs, and you don't have to worry about waiting in any lines at all. So that's a huge benefit too. And if you do want to just catch characters in the parks, grab yourself a Times Guide when you first walk in, because the Times Guide will list all of your characters that you're going to be able to see that day right there in the Times Guide, where they're going to be, when they're going to come out, and you have all that information set for you. So don't worry about when and where you're going to meet characters. That's all pre-plannable. Now, the other issue about characters that people might be nervous about is meeting characters as an adult. Meeting characters as an adult can seem kind of weird, kind of awkward. I get it. And remember, you guys, I go meet characters by myself all the time, which is super weird. But don't forget, it doesn't have to be weird. Go in with a plan of attack. Talk to the characters about their story. So ask Cinderella about her glass slipper. Or I recently asked Prince Charming what he and Cinderella like to do on the weekends. And he told me that they like to take their horses out and go horseback riding. And he actually knew the names of their horses, which was very surprising to me. I was very impressed. But meeting characters as an adult does not have to be weird. Go in with a plan and let them know that you're by yourself, but you just wanted to take a picture with them because you really love their story, and they will be perfectly fine with that, and it doesn't have to be weird. Okay, next thing I thought I would hate is the weather. And yes, it can get horribly hot, and it is rainy all summer long in Orlando. It rains every single day, but it doesn't actually have to be that bad, and here's why. So as long as you plan for that rain and accept that it's gonna come, it can actually make for some of your best days. If you stick out the rain in the parks, they're gonna empty out, and you can get on lots of attractions while everyone else heads to dry off. So that means when the rain starts coming down, grab your poncho, grab your sandals that don't have backs. Remember, don't wear flip-flops in the rain because you're just gonna slip and slide all over the place. Get your sandals that have backs. And you guys know I recommend Tiva sandals, the sandals that actually have almost a nylon webbing instead of like leather or something like that, obviously in the rain. So grab those sandals, grab your umbrella, and go get in line for something because everybody else is gonna leave, and a lot of those attractions are still gonna be running, and you'll be able to ride them with no line. If you do get stuck with a totally rained out day, there are also a ton of activities at the resorts and in Disney Springs that are completely inside that you can do. So be sure you go in armed with some of those just in case. So these include movies at Disney Springs, bowling at Disney Springs over at Splitsville, art classes at Art of Animation, restaurant tours, cultural activities at Animal Kingdom Lodge, lots of stuff to do. Pick up one of our DFB guides to Walt Disney World Dining. We actually list a lot of them in there. So go over to DFB store and grab that. Now, when you check into your resort, pick up an activity schedule so you know everything that's going on at your resort as well. Next thing I wasn't sure I was going to love, and in fact thought I was going to hate, is waiting in line for all those rides. Now, everybody knows you're always trying to avoid the lines. You're trying to avoid waiting because that's just wasted money. Time is money in Disney World, and you don't want to wait in line. But Disney's done something really smart, and we really appreciate it. They've created those interactive queue lines for several of those rides, especially the little kid rides in Magic Kingdom, to basically make sure that your time in line isn't wasted and you're actually doing something fun and interesting. So these rides include things like Haunted Mansion, Peter Pan. Peter Pan's a really fun queue line to go through, actually. Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh has great areas to play and keep kids entertained. Mine Train has some fun games to play. And even Dumbo has that full play area with a buzzer to let you know when it's time to ride. So that's great. Sometimes your kids won't even want to leave the play area to go ride the ride because they're having so much fun. Also, don't forget there is the Disney Parks Play app that lets you play games related to the ride you're waiting in line for. And here's a new thing to tell you about. If you're playing Playset Party in Toy Story Land and you head through the Toy Story Mania queue, you might spot Stinky Pete, just FYI. And something else that's going to be really, really cool when it comes to Walt Disney World, the Play Disney Parks integration for Galaxy's Edge, that data pad is really fun. I actually wanted to play it for like the whole day when I was there. So that'll be good to play when you are waiting in line for Millennium Falcon and soon Rise of the Resistance as well. So if you do have to wait in some of those lines, don't worry too much. There's plenty to keep your interest and hold your interest. Just download that Play Disney Parks app and also look for the queue lines that have good interaction. Next thing that we were not expecting to like as much as we do, the new park additions. Now, we've done some videos recently on changes that were good and changes that were not so good at Disney World, so we won't go into this point too much. But when things do change at Disney, it can be scary for those of us who are super fans, and we haven't always been sure Disney will live up to the expectations we have for them. Honestly, we were a little worried about Pandora, but it turned out to be so impressive that it doesn't really matter if you know what Unobtainium is or not. And while we do have some reservations when it comes to those virtual rides, Flight of Passage has really reinvented a ride that takes place in front of a screen. Now, I also expected to hate Disney Springs because I was super sad about losing Adventurers Club and everything else that was there. And I didn't want to see a bunch of chain stores and restaurants, but I actually do love Disney Springs. I think it's become a nice fifth gate for Disney World, and I've been there more than I was ever at Downtown Disney, so kudos to Disney on those. But I am still reserving judgment on whether Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway will be worth losing the Great Movie Ride, which I know you guys are too. All right, now since this is Disney Food Blog, let's talk about food. I know some of you guys are nervous about the fast food in Disney World, and for a long time there was probably reason to be nervous about it, but things have changed a lot, even though there are still a few counter service locations that are not recommended, like Pizzafari and Pizza Rizzo and Sunset Ranch Market. Disney has been stepping up things at a lot of their quick service and counter service locations recently. And something you're going to want to look for is the term fast casual. So fast casual to Disney means kind of in between a fast food and a table service dinner, where you basically are going to order your food at a counter, but then they'll bring it to you, or you get real plates and real silverware and real cups and things like that instead of just paper. But some of these recommendations are going to include Contempo Cafe, Wolfgang Puck Express, Be Our Guest Lunch, Captain Cook's, Deluxe Burger, Cooks of Dublin, Polite Pig, and there's several others that are really stepping up their game in Disney World. So don't be too concerned, but do watch Disney Food Blog. Watch our DFB Guide videos. Go get our DFB Guide from dfbstore.com, because we really do go in depth and tell you everything that's good and everything we don't recommend in Walt Disney World. So I think that DFB Guide is going to help you out a lot. Also, when it comes to food, there's no denying that food at Disney World can be expensive, and I know you guys are nervous about that too, but you can cut some costs by joining those loyalty programs and taking advantage of discounts, as well as maybe splitting some of the larger portion meals. Now, we do have a whole video about discounts and about those affinity groups, and again, those are all listed in the DFB Guide as well, but there's definitely some cost savings possible on your food, and you should check that out. And some of you are super concerned about allergies. Your kids have allergies, you have food allergies, and you're nervous about going to Disney World. Well, you don't really need to worry as long as you plan ahead. Disney's really amazing. In fact, they're award-winning at catering to those special requests, whether it's for preference or for necessity. Now, if you're at a table service location, be sure to ask for an allergy-friendly menu where they can show you exactly which dishes are going to be safe for you or your children to eat. And know that even kiosks have allergy info and ingredient lists available to look at. Also, remember at table service restaurants, a chef can actually come out and walk you through the menu. They can walk you through a buffet and let you know what's safe for you. All right, next thing and last thing that I don't want you to be too worried about, even though you think you're gonna hate it, especially you super planners out there, is taking breaks midday. I know a lot of you are super planners. You've got your spreadsheets, they're all color coded, you know exactly where you're going every day, you've got your fast passes planned out, and you are ready to roll, and that's awesome. But remember that you guys are gonna need a break unless your family has kind of gone through some serious training and you guys have done those Dumbo or Die kind of vacations before. It's always good to plan in a little break midday. This is especially going to be helpful if you've gotten up for rope drop and brought your whole tribe in to ride those super popular rides right at the beginning of the day. And it's going to be helpful if some of the kiddos are maybe out of their regular schedule, so maybe not napping at their normal time, or maybe not getting quite as many hours of sleep because they went to the fireworks the night before or something like that. Those afternoon breaks are going to come in really handy, even if just to spend a little downtime separately. Maybe you're in different areas of your rental house, or someone goes out on the balcony of the hotel, someone else has to take a shower, and someone else kind of takes a nap, and someone else puts their headphones on and reads for a little bit. Just that separation time is sometimes really nice when you're on those crazy Disney trips. And what also is really good about taking those breaks midday is you get out of the parks during their most crowded times. So you do your most important touring early in the morning, and then in the evening, go back in the evening when the crowds have left, and skip that super hot time of the day, the super rainy time of the day, and the super crowded time of the day. They're from like 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Just get out of the park. It's not worth it. You could really use that rest. But I totally understand if you guys want to go all day long, but maybe work in a couple of breaks during the trip just so that everyone can have a little downtime. So there are a few things we expected to hate in Disney World, or you guys may be expecting to hate in Disney World, but you shouldn't, and we didn't. And that's why we've got a whole bunch of tips for you here to hopefully make those situations a lot better than you think they might be. Maybe improve some of those potential pitfalls in your Disney World vacation. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for watching. We'd love to hear your comments. Let us know your thoughts on this whole situation. If you guys have gone through some of those specific experiences, let us know your tips. We definitely want to hear them. This is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.